Tonight on To The Point.
For the souls of the holy ones, men, women, and children who were killed on October 7th.
1 year since the Hamas terror attack on Israel. How remembrances are playing out across the nation and here at home to honor the thousands of lives lost in the war. Plus, what Sacramento leaders are proposing to increase gun control in the city.
Tracking our last weather impact alert day with near 100-degree heat, big changes on the way, and who might see some showers.
And later, we sit down with District 13 congressional candidates about the race, where they stand on key issues.
Good evening. As always, thank you so much for joining us on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell. Today marks the 1-year anniversary of the brutal October 7th terror attack on Israel. The attack sparked the war in Gaza, and across the nation today, people are holding ceremonies to honor those who were killed that day.
President Biden and the First Lady marking 1 year since the gruesome October 7th Hamas terror attack on Israel, lighting a single candle in a simple, solemn ceremony.
For the souls of the holy ones, men, women, and children who were killed on October 7th.
The president calling Israeli President Isaac Herzog to offer his condolences on this anniversary, but not speaking with his counterpart, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Israelis pausing on Monday to honor the more than 1,200 people killed and the roughly 250 taken hostage by Hamas, more than 100 of whom still are missing, including at least 7 Americans.
We're calling for President Biden and his administration to focus on getting the Americans home.
We want Prime Minister Netanyahu, as the leader in Israel, to put bringing the hostages home at the top of the list of what they will accomplish.
That October 7th attack igniting a war in Gaza. The Hamas-run health ministry says more than 40,000 people, many civilians, killed in the fighting there. And Israel conducting new airstrikes over the weekend against Hezbollah targets, another Iranian-backed terror group that's been launching rockets into Israel in support of Palestinians. Back home, law enforcement on high alert. The Department of Homeland Security and FBI warning the October 7th anniversary could motivate more acts of violence. And less than a month from Election Day, both former President Donald Trump and Vice President Harris making the solemn milestone. Trump visiting a Jewish memorial in New York City. Harris with Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff planting a tree at the vice presidential residence.
And there are 2 events happening in Sacramento. We'll have more updates on that coming up tonight on Late News Tonight at 11. Tonight, Sacramento County detectives are looking for additional unreported victims after 2 men were indicted for child sex crimes. According to the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office Internet Crimes Against Children Unit, 81-year-old Kenneth Lorenz and 58-year-old Kevin Gibson communicated with an undercover detective expressing interest in meeting with a child for sex. The men were arrested, and deputies say they found over 1,000 files of child sexual abuse material. Both men had previously been convicted of sex offenses, but were no longer required to register as sex offenders. Anyone who has kids who interacted with these men should contact the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office. A deadly crash is under investigation in South Sacramento. It happened off Franklin Boulevard near Sun Meadow Drive around 12:45 this morning. Sacramento police say an SUV and a sedan collided into each other. The person in the sedan was pronounced dead on the scene. Officers say the driver of the SUV was showing signs of intoxication and was detained at the hospital. 2 businesses were vandalized in Roseville, all while raising money for charity. Take a look at this. Kitchen 747 and Mojo's were vandalized twice this weekend. It all started on Friday night when a manager found 2 kids on the rooftop of the patio after closing, and then they escorted them out. They returned Saturday morning to damages. Then again on Sunday around 4 a.m., they were hit again. Kitchen 747 surveillance video caught the teens on the property.
There were pumpkins thrown and cracked, more broken glass, more broken string lights. Plates were thrown off of the rooftop onto the street, and then a 6-foot folding table was thrown from the roof onto our covered patio right here.
If you have any information about this incident, you are asked to call Roseville Police. Sacramento City leaders want to make some changes to the way that guns are sold and purchased in the city. Today, Mayor Darrell Steinberg, Councilmember Lisa Kaplan, and Eric Guerra laid out a new proposal. If adopted, it would require anyone who buys a gun within the city to have liability insurance. It would also prohibit people from selling firearms from their homes or home-based businesses, and it would prohibit anyone under 18 to enter gun shops.
We can't sit here and do nothing because gun violence affects all of us in many ways. And even more so, gun violence here in Sacramento, in just the first 9 months alone, is up over 25% versus last year.
Kaplan says the proposal is in the early stages. It still needs to be reviewed by a law and legislation committee before the language is drafted, and then it'll go to City Council for approval. Next, on to the point, Florida gearing up for what could be its biggest evacuation in 7 years.
Tracking record high temperatures once again for today as we're wrapping up our weather impact alert.
And later, preparing for the November election, when you can expect your ballot in the mail. This is a live look at Hillsborough County, Florida tonight as the state prepares for what could be its biggest evacuation in 7 years. Hurricane Milton is moving over the Gulf of Mexico and headed towards the Tampa Bay area. NASA images from the International Space Station showing just how massive this storm has become. It's currently a Category 5 storm, and forecasters are predicting life-threatening rain and storm surge to hit the Tampa Bay area. We know that residents are doing whatever they can to prepare ahead of the storm. Hardware and grocery stores are completely overwhelmed. The Tampa and Clearwater airports are planning to suspend operations tomorrow morning. Orlando Airport plans to close on Wednesday. I want to get to our chief meteorologist, Monica Woods, who, of course, is tracking this storm with the latest details.
Right, and they're just recovering from Helene.
I know.
So this is just a 1-2 punch here. We're going to continue to track this throughout the course of today, tomorrow, and even into Wednesday. Here's a look at as it's moving through parts of the Gulf of Mexico, turning its way right over the Yucatan Peninsula. We'll keep a close eye on Cancun as well. But as it moves through those very warm Gulf waters, it has picked up steam, a rapidly intensifying hurricane. Those warm waters just feeding this storm here. Category 5 right now. As it moves into slightly cooler water, it will lose some steam here down to about a Category 3. Still a devastating hurricane hitting the Tampa Bay region. All throughout the coast here, we've got hurricane warning in effect. North and south of that, it's a tropical storm warning. Big storm surge, huge rain totals. We'll be keeping an eye on all of that. Meantime, we hit some record highs for today. Downtown Sacramento, Sacramento Executive, Stockton, and Modesto. Another record-breaking hot day. And with that, for downtown Sacramento, that's going to mark day number 50 for the year of at least 100-degree temperatures. We added 5 in the month of October alone. July, we normally expect those types of temperatures, but October, this is pretty deep into the year here. Heat advisory expires at 11 o'clock for tonight. We'll still be in the 90s for tomorrow, but we're starting to slowly chip away at that heat as we pick up that southwest breeze. Then all eyes on this developing low off the coast. It starts to head our way, with the potential for some of us seeing some showers. Highs in the 70s tomorrow for this year, with 80s and 90s still in the foothills. We're in the 70s in the coast, and we'll start tapping into some of that cooler air slowly but surely this week. Highs in the 90s to near 100 tomorrow. 70s up top for this year, more cloud cover by the end of the week. We'll track that opportunity for showers. In the meantime, it's all about those cooling conditions. That's one thing that we know. We're going to cool temperatures into the 80s, more cloud cover heading our way, and 80s are here to stay.
Still ahead on to the point where the presidential candidates are planning to campaign this week and why Tim Walz will be in Sacramento tomorrow. Plus, the contested race for Congressional District 13. We sit down with John Duarte and Adam Gray as they prepare to face off for a second time. Today marks the 1-year anniversary of the brutal October terror attack on Israel. The attack sparked the war in Gaza. Across the nation today, people are holding ceremonies to honor those who were killed that day. And here in Sacramento, 2 separate events are happening to mark the occasion as people ask for peace. ABC 10's Alicia Machado is live at Cesar Chavez Plaza, where a demonstration is happening right now. Good evening, Alicia.
Yeah, Alex, this demonstration here has been going on for about half an hour now. I want you to take a look behind me where you can see dozens of people are gathered out here at Cesar Chavez Plaza. Community members gathering together for a candlelight vigil to mourn the lives that have been lost during the conflict. The event here is put on by the Sacramento Regional Coalition for Palestinian Rights. They plan to light candles tonight and also place out flowers. The group is calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. Members of Jewish Voice for Peace are also out here as well. Now, in addition to the vigil here, a memorial is also being held at the state capitol tonight by the Jewish Federation of the Sacramento region. Take a listen to what attendees of both events had to say.
We're here today in grief and in outrage that this genocide is continuing after 1 year.
The war would probably come to a screeching halt if Hamas would surrender and these hostages would be returned. Israel just wants peace.
Now, the memorial at the Capitol just began. Their goal to remember the lives lost in the October 7th attack and also to raise awareness about the hostage situation abroad. Partnering organizations are also standing in solidarity with the Jewish community, including Christians United for Israel, who you just heard from moments ago. Now, we will continue to follow both of these events and have more updates for you tonight on Late News Tonight at 11. For now, reporting live in Sacramento at Cesar Chavez Plaza, Alicia Machado, ABC 10 News.
Alicia, thank you. Turning now to the race for the White House. With less than a month till Election Day, the presidential nominees are making ground in key swing states. Former President Donald Trump campaigning in battleground states and Vice President Kamala Harris going on a media blitz. Today, Trump and Harris both marking 1 year since the terror attacks by Hamas in Israel. Trump visiting a memorial in Queens, New York. Harris planting a tree at the vice presidential residence in D.C. in honor of those killed. Now, over the weekend, Harris speaking to 60 Minutes as part of the media blitz, saying her economic plan to invest in small businesses will be an investment on the middle class. Harris was asked how it'll be paid for.
Well, one of the things is I'm going to make sure that the richest among us who can afford it pay their fair share in taxes. It is not right that teachers and nurses and firefighters are paying a higher tax rate than billionaires and the biggest corporations. And I plan on making that fair.
Former President Donald Trump is planning stops in 2 battleground states this week, Pennsylvania and Michigan. This weekend, he went to Wisconsin, a state in which he lost by about 20,000 votes in 2020. There, he spoke about a number of key issues, including immigration.
We're not going to be stuck with them. We're going to be bringing them back, and we're going to shove them right down their throat. They should have never been allowed to be here.
Meanwhile, Kamala Harris's running mate Tim Walz is expected to be in Sacramento tomorrow for a private fundraiser. Walz made stops in San Diego and Los Angeles this weekend. This November is also a rematch of California's closest congressional race of 2022, when Republican newcomer John Duarte beat out incumbent Adam Gray by less than 0.5% in the newly redrawn district. So this year, political analysts consider this one of the 9 closest races that will help determine control of the U.S. House of Representatives. ABC 10's Devin Truby sat down with both candidates as they face off for a second time.
Voters in District 13 have 2 choices for the congressional seat this coming Election Day: incumbent and Republican John Duarte.
Lower gas prices, lower grocery prices, drill American oil, get affordability back, get water on the farm so we have opportunity here in the Valley.
Or Democrat Adam Gray, who previously held the seat for 10 years.
Water is at the top of the list. Healthcare. I want to see Congress back to kind of mainstream American stuff.
In a predominantly agricultural district, Duarte wants to continue with legislation that will allow farmers to store groundwater.
Is do some canal extensions and some interconnects that would really create a lot of flexibility within our system and allow us to use water where it's critical that's already getting dumped out to the ocean.
Gray would like to see additional investments from the federal government.
Invest in infrastructure. We need to invest in floodplains, above ground storage, below ground storage.
Each one of these candidates had a unique message they wanted to share with the voters.
I am a pro-choice Republican. I support choice. I support women's rights. I've got a voting record that shows it. I'm voted by Heritage Foundation to be the most moderate Republican in the entire conference nationwide.
The organization Planned Parenthood says Duarte votes 21% of the time to support issues related to sexual and reproductive health and rights, a higher score than many of his California Republican colleagues. Duarte says he's also proud of his endorsement from the Central Valley Leadership Roundtable, who have never endorsed a Republican before. As for Gray, he's highlighting his endorsements from the Merced County Sheriff Vern Warnke and Stanislaus County Sheriff Jeff Dirksey, Merced County DA Nicole Silveira, who identified themselves as Republicans in a campaign ad for Gray.
I'm one of the only congressional candidates in the country endorsed by elected Republicans, and I'm proud of that, right? I've got a broad array of support from every corner of the community. That's what we need to do, is work together. And I think the American people are tired of all the fighting.
Gray has also been endorsed by San Joaquin County Sheriff Patrick Withrow. When it comes to endorsing a president, Duarte says he'll be following his party and endorsing former President Trump. Gray says he is endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris.
According to the FEC, so far, incumbent John Duarte has raised more than $3 million. Adam Gray raised more than $2.6 million. And one of the biggest races in Sacramento this election is the race for mayor. Dr. Flo Kofer and Assemblymember Kevin McCarty are both vying for your vote. So we want to know, what would you like to ask them? What do you want to see change for the better in Sacramento? Make sure you send us your questions, and we will ask the candidates. Email newstips@abc10.com. Today is the deadline for county election offices to send you your mail-in ballot. So that means if you haven't already, you should be getting your ballot in the mail this week. ABC 10's Becca Habegger breaks down the key dates for making sure that your vote counts.
California is the largest voting base in the nation. We have over 22 million registered voters in California alone.
In a recent voter education video, California Secretary of State Shirley Weber and her staff walked viewers through the voting process. Once you fill out your ballot and sign the envelope, you can return it at a ballot drop box, in person at a vote center or polling place, or drop it in any U.S. Postal Service mailbox. If by mail, ballots must be postmarked on or before Election Day. Once you submit your ballot, you can track the status online and see when it has been received and counted.
This is a year of tremendous resources. This is a year in which we are going to have one of the most exciting elections of all times, and everyone is excited about it. A presidential election is always exciting.
Ballot drop boxes open this Tuesday, October 8th. Early in-person voting begins Monday, October 7th. Check with your county elections office for those locations. All vote centers will open October 26th.
We are committed to making sure that every Californian who's registered to vote has an opportunity to vote. We hope that those of you who are eligible have registered.
If you're not sure whether you're registered to vote, you can check on the Secretary of State's website. If you do need to register to vote, the deadline to mail in that form or submit it online is October 21st. After that deadline, a person registering to vote must do so in person at their county elections office or vote center. A person can even register on Election Day and cast a ballot that same day. The Secretary of State's website says their ballots will be processed and counted once the county elections office has completed the voter registration verification process.
We're looking forward to November 5th to have a wonderful, safe, and in some ways boring election where there's nothing unusual happening other than you taking advantage of the opportunity to vote.
And you already know, here at ABC 10, we want you to feel empowered to vote in all the races on your ballot. That's why our team has created short videos explaining each of the 10 propositions you'll see on your ballot this year. So you can find them on our website, abc10.com/vote. Make sure you stay with us. We're back after this short break. Welcome back. There's been an affordability and availability crisis here in California when it comes to homeowners insurance. For months, we've been speaking to homeowners across our region about how all of this is impacting them. We've also sat down with California members of Congress asking what is being done to fix this issue. Make sure that you watch California's home insurance crisis, a to the point special investigation this Thursday at 6:30. We have so much information that you do not want to miss. As always, thank you so much for spending your part of your day with us. If you have something we should be looking into, reach out to me and the team. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. The To The Point team and I love hearing from you, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. And don't forget, you can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send us a text message at 916-321-3310.